Hi guys, Girl Housewife here. I am today putting in a new bidet on our toilet. And when you do this, I'm actually using, I am using the Genie Bidet. It's got this really nice little knob here on the side. It's very simple. It's only cold water, but in my test run of, In my test run over the last year, I've discovered that primarily pipe temperature water is just fine. So the first thing you do is clean your toilet really, really well, right? Because all of that nastiness down there, you don't want to put your new bidet on top of that. That's disgusting. We have the Neolux bidet first, and it had this horrible bracket that sat, it was an attachment bidet, right? So the bracket sat right here, and then the toilet seat sat on top of it. And so underneath the bracket developed this disgusting, sludgy puddle of pee. We're gonna try this one instead and see if it works a little bit better. It is super simple. First thing we're gonna do is turn off the water to the toilet, right? Nice and easy, no problem. So folks at Genie Bidet have come up with this very clever diverter valve. And what makes this such a standout is that most T valves will supply, it splits the water supply from the toilet to the bidet, but they don't usually have a shutoff valve, which means that if you ever want to take the bidet off the toilet and completely disconnect it or make it so that no one can use it, you have to take the whole thing back off, you have to disconnect the water supply, and then you have to reconnect the water supply. It's very annoying. So what if you have guests, or you have little kids, or you have guests with little kids, and you don't want anybody to get squirted in the face or put bidet water all over your bathroom? You want to disable the bidet? They have put this nifty little quarter turn valve, and they built it right into the diverter valve. And so look, I think you can see in there. You see the little white section? As you turn the handle, it turns it off. So this connects to your toilet, water supply here, toilet connection here, and then the bidet is supplied here. So if you turn your quarter turn valve on, then your bidet works. And if you turn your quarter turn valve off, then your toilet still works, but your bidet is turned off. And that's pretty genius. Also, it's a really nice mechanism. It's not the old, like, you gotta turn it a bunch of times like this one is, right? See how many times you gotta turn that? This is one of the newer valves. It's just a quarter turn. Turn and turn. That's it. Okay, so I have the water off. We're gonna flush the toilet. And then hold the lever down while you do this so that you get all the water out of the toilet. Okay. When I know something fun, I turn the water valve off and then I turn it back on. So let's turn the water valve back off. There we go. All right, thank you, Charles. Okay, let's turn it in. Oh no. Come on now.
Mom, the toilet takes time to restore its water.
I did it the wrong way. I'm gonna have to open up the back of the toilet. Hang on. No, come on. All right. Oh yeah, no, we're good. Okay, tank is mostly emptied. So now I can take the water supply off the toilet. I've got my handy dandy little towel here. See if I can do this by hand or if I'm gonna need a tool. I am gonna need pliers. I'll be right back. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. I got my tools now.
Did you?
All right. Here we go. All right. Slip joint pliers, flathead screwdriver.
Let's grab hold of this.
Now this is plastic, so we don't really need to apply a lot of force to it. Just need a little, get it off the fill valve. There we go. Oops. I always forget that turns. Okay, you gotta hold the fill valve still on the inside. There we go. Come on now. Let go. Should be going this way. Why does that one go? Oh. See, now this is the thing I always forget about plumbing features, is that a lot of times the valves are reverse threaded, which is a real nuisance. And I think it's so that you can hold something with your right hand and unscrew with your left. But it does make it very confusing to remember sometimes. So, reverse threaded plumbing fixture. All right, so you don't get a lot of water out of there, but you do get a little bit. So it's a good idea to have a little towel underneath. All right, no problem. Okay, so we have our braided water supply hose. And if you have an old toilet and you still have the old style of water supply hose, you should take a quick trip to the hardware store and get a braided supply hose, because they're way, way better. And if you get this kind with a little plastic knobby, it's kind of uglier, but it works a lot better. And if you're unscrewing it the right way, which is what I should have been doing, then you can do it by hand and you don't even need tools. That's really awesome. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is put the handy dandy shut off valve onto the water supply hose. So this water supply hose already has a gasket inside it, okay? That's cool. On this side, this T-valve, I'm not gonna take them back out because it took me a while to get them in there solidly. There are 2 black rubber washers in here. And you want these to be seated nicely right down on the inside, and that is what is going to help it connect smoothly to the toilet fill valve and not have any leaks. So since we can turn this one around this way, let's put this one on first. Here we go. Well, that's exciting. Oh, it's this one. My mistake. There we go. Okay. All right. So it's a little plastic grippy thing. There we go. Screw it in nice and tight. Good deal. Now, our shut-off valve is here on the outside, right? Because that makes sense. And we can attach this to the fill valve. Nice and easy. Kind of bring that around like that so that your on-off valve is on the outside where you can get to it easily. There we go. All right. Now, next thing we're gonna do is take off these little plastic packaging pieces. There we go. That's trash. And we'll take the piece out of the inside. I'm gonna use my screwdriver because it's just easier like that. Come on now. How'd you go? Apparently removing the packaging materials is going to be the hardest part of the installation. That is definitely packaging material. Come on. Why? All right, let's try the other end. Ta-da! That one was easy. See, once again, little rubber washer. Let's get back at this. There we go. Okay, so if you wedge the screwdriver or knife or something underneath that, get it out. Holy cats. Guys, it's threaded. Am I supposed to... All right. Don't be like me. Okay, guys, this cap that didn't want to come out, it's because it's threaded and it just screwed into there like that, and that's why it didn't yet. Right, see? Screw in, screw out. Okay, so screw the little packaging out. All right, on the inside of this.
Install the baguette yet?
No, feral child, go wash the dishes.
Fine.
All right, on the inside of this, there's a little pressure regulator. And they say in the instructions that if you want more water pressure, you can pull that out. Wait, is that the pressure regulator? Nah, pressure regulator's in the seat. Never mind that. Okay, this end, the little filter, goes down here. Go. Screw that on nice and tight. Now, we're only going to hand tighten this connection because it's plastic on plastic, but I am going to tool tighten the metal on metal. And you don't have to torque the heck out of this kind of connection. You just, you just give it a few turns. Just until it seems like it's going about as far as it wants to go, and then you go about a quarter turn past that. You're fine. Yeah, there we go. You stay there. Okay. All right. Now, let's do the bracket. So, this is the critical failing of bidets that get attached to existing toilets, rather than it being like integrated into the whole toilet by itself, is this mounting plate. Because they all have this. It's either an attachment that runs across here and the seat sits on it, or it's this mounting plate that goes here and the seat sits on it. Either way, you have, especially if you have little kids like I do, you have the potential for a lot of little boy pee to collect underneath this plate, and you really can't get at it unless you take the toilet bolts out and you take the whole stupid thing apart. But we're gonna give it a try anyways, because wiping butts with paper is for the birds. Water does it better. So these little metal brackets, you put them right here, and you want to scooch this as far forward as you can and still have the holes, the bolt holes, in this little section of the bracket right there, okay? So the farther forward you have this, the better the seat will fit this opening, the more room you'll have for all the things that are coming out to be in the bowl and not out of the bowl. And theoretically, this is what I'm hoping. See this section of the seat? I am really hopeful that this will kind of loop over the edge and keep all that little boy pee inside the bowl. Okay, so screw right through the top, butterfly nut, screwed onto the bottom. And these, again, you're just gonna hand tighten these. Super easy. You just wanna kind of hold this down just enough to get a sense of if it's in the right place. Screw, bolt hold, butterfly nut. Whatever you do, don't drop these in your toilet. This is bad for your plumbing, and it makes an easy project super annoying. Okay. Almost there. Come on, come on, come on, come on. All right, so you just hand tighten these, right? And then you can still kind of move this bracket up and down to get it to be where you want it to be. But in general, you're gonna want it to be as far forward as you can get it. So now I'm gonna kind of test fit the lid, right, the seat itself. And the seat slides right into that bracket and clicks in place just like that. Isn't that magical? So I've got a lot of overhang on the front of this seat, which means that I'm gonna need to take it back off again. Okay. Let's move this back. Let's move it back about there. Okay, center brackets, and try again. click. Still got a big lip here. Let's see where we see, but if I go any further back, then see, my lid is already right there. I don't think I can go any further back. So looks like there will be a little bit of gappage here that we may have to live with. That's okay. If this section here can keep all that little boy pee in the toilet and not underneath that bracket, I can live with the lip in the front. All right. Still not quite right here. Ideally, I think it would actually be back there, but can't be done. I don't think. It's just a little long for this toilet. Alas. Still my best hope. Let's not bring it back just a little farther, see what happens. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. Well, that did go pretty well. Okay, there's still a good bit of lip here, like when the seat is sitting on, I don't know if you can see this, come over here. The seat, when the seat's down, so you've got this big rim here from the toilet. Ideally, this would scoop back farther so that this rim is hidden underneath the seat. But, you know, sometimes you just have to go with what you've got. So, I'm gonna tighten that up and we're gonna have the plumbing. Alright. So again, because they're plastic butterfly connectors, I'm just going to tighten by hand. I'm gonna have to make it yeah. Okay. Don't tell anybody that I used a flathead for this, right? Because it'll totally ruin my awesome feral housewife doing project street cred. But you don't need to like crack the bowl with these either, okay? Right? Because you just want to get them hand tight. That's all you need. Okay. Seat. Click. Here's our cool truck ready. When we want to take the lid off, on the other side of the lid, there's this button, and it just pushes in just like that. And when you push the button in, it makes these little latches move, and it lets go of the mounting plate. So, click, push the button on the side, slide straight out for cleaning purposes. The nice thing about a non-electronic one is that if you do little boys who are really bad with aiming, take this whole assembly off and like run it through the shower if you had to. Hopefully this thing will stay nice and clean. Okay, lid stays up, doesn't fall down. Soft close seat, soft close lid. All right, let's hook up the water. Okay, here is our water connection, and it really does. Oh, there's that water regulator. Remember I told you I thought the other thing was the water regulator? It's not. It's a little white thing in there. That is the pressure regulator valve. So if you live in a house with super duper high water pressure and you really like a major super power wash on your butt, take that out. If you live in a house with low water pressure and you need to increase the water pressure, take that out. But if, like me, you live in a house with kind of normal water pressure, which makes for kind of an uncomfortably powerful wash on your butt, just leave it in. That'll be fine. And if you take it out, company says you can put it right back in. So you can change your mind. All right, here is our last connection. To screw this on and make sure we don't misthread it, because we're metal going onto plastic here, which is sometimes tricky. All right, and we do not want to crush these threads because that will contribute to leakage. Pivot this back around, help keep things tidy. I am just going to give this one little turn. Wait, wrong way. Nope, I was going the right way. See, this is what happens. I doubt myself. Okay, I'm just gonna go a few little turns with the tool. There we go. That's it. That's what we're gonna do. Now let's make sure that this is off. Okay. And let's turn on the water and see what happens. I've got it. Ooh, ooh, oh no. That's not good. That is not good at all. Let's tighten that up. Okay, and maybe we do need to tool tighten this a little bit. Okay, always check for leaks. Come on now. Let's see which one we got. Nope, that's looser. That's tighter. Alright. So to attach this to the fill valve, we're going counterclockwise. Okay. Now let's try again. See what we get. No, still some leakage. Okay, still some leakage. All right. Let's turn it another quarter turn and see what we get. Hey, there we go. It's better. Okay, when you do this kind of valve for the water, I'm gonna open it up all the way and then go back like a quarter turn. Just to make sure. All right, let's deal with you. Reassemble you correctly. All right, lid back on. Okay, I'm gonna go grab another towel real quick because that was wet. All right, and now we look for leaks. And dry all this off. Pull this down out of the way so I can see. And now we look for leaks. Probably need to get a new one of these. Let's get the wet towel, get the dry towel down. Alright, any water that's coming out here, we will have to try to fix. But so far, okay, so that's off. This is on. And I don't see any leakage in here. We turn the knob, looking for the water running. Okay. So we get a little bit of spray out the front there, which I think is pretty normal for, you know, if you don't have anybody sitting on it. Certainly our last bidet did the same thing. And then to get two wash settings, front and back. Okay. All right, and I will leave a paper towel underneath this valve overnight. So I'll take a little paper towel and I'll dry this up really, really well so that there's no residual water of any kind. And then I will put a paper towel down here on the floor underneath this, because the nice thing about a paper towel is that even if there's a very, very slow leak, what happens is you can see like the crinkly spot in the morning. So you know if there's water, and you don't want water. You get water down here around your toilet, it rots into the subfloor, and then you have a whole mess. And it's a thing. But so far, so good. Looks great. I'm super excited to give it a try. Very excited about trying out the Genie Bidet. And hopefully it works just as well as it seems to be clever. All right, thanks guys. I'll see you next time I do a project.